Hello everyone, how are you? I hope all of you are doing really good. So welcome to another session of strategic management. Now, in the last 3 lectures, what we have covered is, so far we have covered what is the meaning of management, then what is strategy. Now we are moving on to the next topic, that is strategic management. Before moving on, let's have a quick recap. I've prepared the summary of the few things, right? What is the meaning of management? I've tried preparing the summary of few things. So management is a key group within an organization entrusted with the task of integrating the resources, various resources which we have already talked about, to make the organization purposeful and productive. The survival and success of organization depends upon the two things. One is the competence, another one is the character of its management, which is responsible for mobilizing and utilizing the resources efficiently and effectively. The term management refers to the set of interrelated functions and processes carried out by the top management, by the management itself, of an organization, including planning, organizing, directing, staffing, and controlling. Right? These functions range from determining the goals and designing the organization to allocating the resources and implementing the control system to ensure planned objectives are achieved. The long-range planned objectives are achieved. The management is described as an influence process that aims to make the things happen, gain command over phenomena, and direct events and people in a particular manner. So this is basically, in short, the meaning of management, that what is management. So we studied it from the two angles. One is from the people and another one is from the process angle, right? So this is a short summary that I have prepared. Then a short summary on the strategy. What is the meaning of strategy? So this topic delves into the concept of strategy, emphasizing the role in responding to the dynamic external forces and guiding the organizational actions towards achieving the long-term objectives. That because the external environment around the business keeps on changing, it is a dynamic environment. So how the business need to respond to that environment, plus in addition to responding, how the organizational actions, guiding the organizational actions, that how to achieve, how to reach your goals and objectives, right? It is a deliberate and a proactive scheme of corporate intent and action, aiming to mobilize resources, direct human effort, handle events, perceive opportunities, and meet the challenges for corporate survival and success. Provides a framework to align their goals with the means of achieving them, ensuring a unified and comprehensive plan to achieve the organizational objectives. Topic further explores the proactive and reactive nature of the strategy that we have already discussed. Proactive is when it is the actions being taken by the managers, that how they can stay ahead in the competition, analyzing the business environment proactively and taking the action accordingly in advance. Reaction is when you are doing something, when you are taking the action in reaction to a particular event that has already occurred. Clear? So strategy is essential for identifying and solving the existing problems, executing the innovative ideas, for example the UPI, and preparing for the certain emergencies and pressures. Additionally, the topic emphasizes the importance of strategy in providing an integrated framework for the top management to address potential threats, crises, and opportunities, and ensuring that the organizations can leverage their strength and services. That means make use of their strength and services to achieve the desired objectives and goals. Strategy is described as a flexible and pragmatic tool. Pragmatic means the practical tool that allows for adjustments in response to the miscalculations, unanticipated events, and changing circumstances, ultimately guiding organization towards success and longevity. So that is the main purpose. So this is a short summary that I have prepared. Don't worry, I will provide you the summary at the end of the chapter. I'll upload that summary for your revision. Now, at the last moment, I have summarized 3-4 pages in 2 pages, right? That is what I have tried doing it. That is what I will be trying for all the things that prepare the summary, right? For the next topic also, we are going to cover 3-4 pages in this particular lecture. Then I'll provide a 1-page summary for that. I'll provide these notes, which was not originally intended, but now I will provide it, right? So don't worry, you will be getting more than what was promised. You are going to get more than what was promised initially, right? So nothing to worry as such. Okay, now strategic management. What is that strategic management is? Okay. What is the strategic management? As the name suggests, it means the management of the various strategies. What we can say? We can say it is the management. Now we understand management. We need to manage something, right? Management of various strategies, right? Now my question is that when will you do the management? When will you do the management of the strategies? You will be doing the management of the strategy only and only if there is a strategy, right? If there is no strategy, what is the meaning of management of that strategy? There is nothing. That means if you are going to manage a particular strategy, that means you have a strategy, right? That means the first is existence of a strategy. Existence of a strategy, only then you will be able to manage that strategy. Now my next question to all of you is, why you need a strategy? Why is there a strategy in existence? What is the need for that? You are a CA student, you have prepared a strategy and now you are trying to manage that strategy. Manage means you want to change that strategy, you want to alter that strategy. What are the various things that you need to do with that strategy? But the first and the foremost question is, why do you need a strategy? My first and the foremost concern is, why do you need a strategy? Because you have a certain mission, you have a certain vision that you want to achieve. You have certain objectives, you have certain goals that you want to achieve in the future, right? That is why you have set up a strategy. That means the first step, strategic management refers to the managerial process of, right? Obviously, who will be doing it? The management will be doing it. Process of. The first step is you should have a vision and a mission. What is your vision? What is your mission as a CA student? That I want to secure All India rank 1, right? And if not rank 1, I want to secure an All India rank. That is what is your vision and mission, right? So strategy is there because you have a certain vision and mission. After that, you will do the strategic analysis. Once you have set your vision that I want to secure an All India rank, now you will do the analysis of the various things, that how you can achieve it, what are the various coaching institutes which are available, how I can proceed with it. If I go for just group 1, can I secure All India rank or not? You will do the analysis of the various things, that is known as the strategic analysis. Now, once you have done the analysis, now you have decided to go for both the groups, because you have understood that if you want to secure an All India rank, you will have to go for both the groups. You have decided. After the analysis, you have decided that you will be going for both the groups. Fine, sir. Now what you will do? The next is you will set the certain objectives to be achieved. That in the next 3 months, I will be completing the first group, and in the next 4 months, I will be completing the second group. So you will what? You will develop the objectives now. You will break down your vision and mission into objectives now after the analysis, that what is to be done. Analysis means what is to be done. What is to be done to reach your goals, to reach your mission, right? Then set the objectives for this thing, right? Once you have set the objectives that in the next 3 months I will be completing first group, the next thing is you will create a strategy now. Now you will craft a strategy that how you are going to achieve that objective. Creating, choosing and implementing the strategies. You will start watching the lectures, you will start preparing for the books, you will start ordering the books, you will start making the notes. Why you are doing all this? Because you want to attain your objectives, that in the next 3 months I will be completing this subject or I will be completing this group, right? And once the strategies are in place, from time to time you will have to see that whether the strategies that you prepared are working well for you or not, or if there are any alterations which are required. That is measuring and evaluating the performance, that whether according to the strategies what you have planned for, whether you are going on the right path or not, whether as per the plan you will be able to achieve your objectives or not, and ultimately your vision and mission. Right? So this is what is the part of strategic management. Who is going to manage all the strategies? Obviously the management is going to manage all the strategies. That is why it is known as a managerial process of what? The first is they should have a vision. They should have a mission, what to do in the future, where do we see ourselves, right? You have a vision that I see myself as the all India rank 1 in the CA examinations in all the 3 levels. Then you will start analyzing the things that how can I do it, what is to be done to achieve that vision, right, or that mission. Then you will set the small objectives. Okay, the first objective is getting the rank in CA foundation. Second objective is getting the rank in CA intermediate. Third objective is getting a rank in CA final. For that, now once you have set the objectives, you will start creating the strategies. You will start implementing. Okay, now I am in the CA foundation. The strategy is that in the next 3 months, I will be completing this, and this is from where I will be taking the coaching, how I am going to proceed in the 1 month before the examinations. I will be appearing for the mock test papers. So all this is what? All this is creating a strategy and implementing the strategy, right? Then to see that what is working for you or not. That is evaluation of your performance, whether you are performing as per the strategies which you have created or not, as per the expectations which you have set from yourself or not. Clear? Now, if you think it from the business point of view, what are the objectives of strategic management? Why the business is preparing the strategies? See, if you talk about strategy, preparation and management, right? When we are talking about the strategic management, why business is interested in managing the strategies? Why not? It's like that once you have created the strategies, you just sit back, relax, everything will work out for you. No sir, everything is not going to work out for you like that, right? Why the businessman or why the management has to keep on looking at the various strategies, altering the strategies, why they need to keep on managing the strategies? So broadly, there are 3 reasons for it, right? In the book, you will get 2 reasons. I'll give you 3 reasons, right? The first reason is that you want to stay ahead in the competition. Right? You want to stay ahead in the competition. Fine, sir. You want to find out the ways that how you can stay ahead of your competitor, what extra you can provide than what your competitor is providing, right? So that the buyers come to you instead of your competitor. One is stay ahead in the competition. Then second is deal with any uncertain events or threats or any crisis are there because of the dynamic ever-changing environment. The third objective of strategic management is to identify, these 2 you will find in the book, right? The third is identify and make use of any possible opportunities. That is what I told you in the last lecture also, that strategy is not about only dealing with the threats and crises. It is also about identifying the opportunities at the right time, that this is a great opportunity for the company. We should grab on that opportunity and increase our profits, increase our business, right? So this is what is here, the objectives of the strategic management: to create a competitive advantage, something unique and valued by customer. That is, what is a different thing that you can provide from your customer, from your competitor, that the buyer comes to you, right? For example, take any product, any electronic device. You are giving that at a huge discount, or what you are doing is you are giving a I can say, what example we can take related to this? Any electronic device. Let's say you are into a mobile phone business, and in the shop, you have a shop and there are various competitors around you. Now you need to identify that what extra you can provide to the customer. You can provide extra 1-year warranty plan to the customer free of cost, right? You can give a charger free of cost. You can give a back cover free of cost. You can put a glass on the phone free of cost. What is that extra services or something extra and unique that your competitor is not providing, you are providing to the customer? The EMI plans you can provide to the customer, right? That take the phone on the EMIs. So there are various things which you need to identify, and you will be able to identify if you have a strategy in the place, right? To create a competitive advantage so that the company can outperform the competitors in all aspects of organizational performance. And second thing is to guide companies successfully through all the changes in the environment, that is to react in the right manner, right? Now the changes can be positive also and negative also. That means if you talk about, here we have covered both the things. Changes can be positive. Positive changes means the opportunities that we are talking about. Positive changes means the opportunities that we are talking about, and it can be negative also. The negative means the threats and the crisis that we are talking about, right? Now the survival, these are the objectives basically. Now he says the survival of the fittest. What do you mean by survival of the fittest? The Charles Darwin propagated the principle of survival of the fittest, which is the only principle of survival for all organizations. He says amongst the organizations, whatever business you are doing, there will always be a competition, right? And the competitor will try to wipe you out of the market. Obviously, that is what you are also trying to do with the competitor. But he says, which business will survive? You will say, sir, Reliance, Tata, one of the biggest organizations who have lots and lots of money, lots of resources, they will survive. No. The Charles Darwin says that business will survive, the one which will be able to respond to the changes in the environment in the right way, right? That have the right strategies in place. So the fittest are not the largest or the strongest organization. Sir, even Reliance can collapse. It has already collapsed. One part of the Reliance has already collapsed, isn't it? Or the strongest organizations can collapse. It is not like that Tata cannot collapse or something not collapse, right? But those who can change and successfully adapt to the changes in the business environment, those organizations will continue, right? I'll give you a very simple example of it. When the GST came, I have an IT firm also, right? With my father, I have an IT firm where we develop the ERPs, the softwares, right? So there were a lot of software developers before the GST, right? Who were developing on those sale tax, VAT. A lot of small softwares were there. They have developed that. Now, after the introduction of GST, what happened, sir? Those software companies which were being run at a very small level, right? We are also operating on a minimal level, but still, at a very small level, some companies, they were absolutely wiped out because they could not adapt or they could not change their software according to the GST requirements, right? They were totally wiped out of the market. So he says the fittest are not the largest or the strongest organizations. So during the GST portal is being managed by Infosys. Even the Infosys had one of the toughest times managing this GST portal. But somehow they cruised through because they had the strategy, because they adapted to the changes in the business environment. So it is not about the largest or the strongest organization. It's about how you adapt to the dynamic environment, how you respond to the various opportunities, how you respond to the various threats being existent in the environment. The failure to adapt to the changes. Now, this is where many companies have failed. The strategies have become essential for all the organizations for their survival and growth in the present turbulent environment, right? So strategy is a very important part of any business environment if you want to really survive. Many business giants have followed the path of extinction, failing to manage the changes in the business environment. For example, Bajaj Scooter, Nokia, etc. Perfect example. The Nokia was very rigid. The Nokia was not strategically placed, and the Nokia said, no, we are not going to use Android, we are going to use our operating system. And ultimately what happened? Today there is no market for Nokia. There is a very limited market for Nokia, right? So Bajaj Scooter also, that was a fantastic scooter, but it could not adapt itself to the changing requirements or the changing needs of the customer. The same thing happened with the Nokia also. Nokia could not adapt itself as per the requirements of the customer. What is the customer requirement? What is the customer demanding from you? The Nokia could not understand that. And it was, I can say the rigid with its strategy that no, we are going with our operating system. And ultimately now the Nokia is adopting the Android systems, isn't it? So that is what, that because of the failure to adapt to the changes of the environment, and the environment doesn't mean just one thing. As I told you, the environment is consisting of many things. It may be customers, suppliers, other things, many other things are there. Political environment, socio-economic environment is there, right? environmental factors are there. So all this is what? All this is an environment that is operating around the business. Win or lose. The business follows the principle of win or lose. Each organization has to build its competitive advantage over the competitors in the business welfare in order to win. That means every business should try to give something extra to the customers than what your competitor is providing. That is what is known as competitive advantage. Competitive advantage is what is that extra advantage that you are going to give to your customer than your competitor, right? What is that extra advantage being passed on to the customer, right, than your competitor. As I told you, the example of the mobile phone, right? You are providing something extra. You are providing a free charger. You are providing a free insurance plan. You are providing a free this, which your competitor is not providing, right? So there you will have a competitive advantage. The buyers obviously will prefer you if you have a good services, right? This can be done only with the following process of strategic management. He says to have a competitive advantage, the first thing is you should have a strategy in place, right? And along with just having the strategy, you should be doing the strategic analysis of the environment, that what your competitor is doing, right? What is required to be done? What is the requirement of the customer? Then formulation and implementation of the strategies. Formulation and implementation of strategies, and then evaluation and control of strategies. Evaluation means from time to time you should see whether the strategies which you have prepared are working in your favor or not. Right, they are working in the right direction, the intended direction, whether you will be able to achieve your objectives with the strategies that you have prepared, or in case there is a change required, you should change it. That is what is there, control of strategies. Clear? After that, what is the importance of strategic management? Now we have studied about strategic management meaning, then we say the survival of the fittest, then failure to adapt to the changes, win or lose. Now next is why there is a strategic management, or what is the importance, how it helps a company take a competitive advantage or a strategic advantage over the competitors. It gives a direction of the it gives a direction to the company. Direction means it gives a clear picture that which way the company should be following to reach its objectives, right? Here also I have told you in the earlier lectures that strategy helps in what? The strategy tells you the way that you have to follow, show the path to cross the hurdles to reach your goals. That is what is the direction to the company, right? To move ahead, it helps the management to define realistic objectives and goals which are in line with the vision of the company. That what is the vision of the company, and according to that vision, what are the objectives and the goals. For example, if your vision is that you want to be a all India rank in the all India rank 1 in the chartered accountancy examination, then you should be setting the realistic objectives and the goals for that, right? Accordingly, you should be setting the realistic objectives, that how you are going to proceed with that. Let's say you are setting the objective that 1 month before the examination I will start with the preparations and then I will secure all India rank 1. Is it realistic? Absolutely not realistic, right? So he says you should be setting the realistic, and strategy management helps in all these things, right? Proactive approach. He says the strategic management tells you that where the required actions are taken, how you can stay ahead in the competition. The strategic management doesn't say that you should be a mere spectator, keep on watching the events and do not react until the event has occurred. That is a reactive approach. Strategic management helps the organizations to become proactive instead of reactive in shaping its future. That strategic management helps the organization in what thing? In analyzing the business environment and accordingly taking the proactive actions and not wait for the events to occur. The organizations are able to analyze and take the actions instead of being the mere spectators. Right? It helps them in working within the uncertainties of the environment and shaping it instead of getting carried away by its turbulence and the uncertainties. That strategy helps in that the business in understanding the uncertainties which are always present and how the organization can deal with those uncertainties the strategic management helps in those things, right? And if the strategic management is not being done in the right way in any organization, then definitely in the turbulent, in the dynamic business environment, the business will not survive, right? Decision making, it provides a framework for all the major business decisions as to the nature of product and market, manufacturing facilities, investment, organizational structure, what to basically it helps in taking the major decisions like what the business, what product we should be manufacturing, which markets we should be catering, which machinery is to be required, how much of the money should be invested in what thing, right? How much of the money should be invested in the machinery, how much of the money is invested in the product, how to procure the raw material, from where to procure the raw material, how we can get the labor, and all those things. If you have the right strategy, then you can move strategically and decide on the various things. Futuristic and pathfinders, obviously it helps in identifying the various uncertainties which can occur in the future, right? Seeks to prepare the organization to face the future and act as the pathfinder to the various business opportunities. That is what I told you. It is not about dealing with the threats only. It is about having the strategic management gives you the way where you can identify the opportunities and grab them, right? One thing is prepare the organization for any uncertain events, for any threats, for any crisis that might come in the future. Organization should be prepared for that, right? Secondly, if there are any opportunities, the strategy shows you the path that how you can grab those opportunities and work on that, right? Organizations are able to identify the ways and means to grab the available opportunities. Corporate defense mechanism. Strategic management serves as a corporate defense mechanism against the mistakes and the pitfalls, right? Obviously, sir, the organization are being run by the humans, and the human brain, the human strategies are always, at the risk of mistakes and the pitfalls. And secondly, because the business environment is also so dynamic that the mistakes can obviously be there. But if you have the right strategy, then you can either avoid these mistakes, or in case there is a mistake, you should have a strategy that how to deal with that mistake, right? It helps the organization to avoid costly mistakes in the product market choice or the investment. For example, I'll take a very simple example here. If you do not have a strategy, then what will you do, sir? You will prepare the warm jackets for the southern part of India, where the winter is not that much, where you actually do not need that warm jackets, because you do not have a strategy. You have not done the strategic analysis. You are just like sitting in the office and one of your friends says, why not sell the jackets in the southern part of India? You immediately invested there. Now this is what you have made a major blunder. And here, if you have a strategy, first you will analyze whether there is a market for that jacket in the southern part of India or not, right? In Hyderabad, in Bangalore, you are trying to sell. Sir, there is no need of those warm jackets there, right? Because the weather is not that adverse. In the northern part of India where we are living, the weather goes totally adverse, and this time it was really worse, right? There we need warm jackets, but you are not investing here, you are investing in the southern part of India. That is what the strategy helps you in saving this thing. Corporate defense mechanism. Survival and longevity. Obviously the strategic management helps to enhance the longevity of the business. Every business that we are doing, anytime we are doing the business, what is the main motive? The main motive is that we are going to run that business for years and years and years and keep on growing that business. But for that you need the right strategy. It helps organization to take a clear stand in the related industry and make sure that is not just surviving on the luck. So basically the organization should be absolutely clear about what they are making, to which market they are catering, what is the expectation from the customers, and they are not just surviving on the luck. They are actually putting in the efforts, they are actually putting in the right strategies in place, and they are reaching the customers, right? Core competencies. Strategic management helps the organization to develop certain core competencies and competitive advantage in its fight for survival and growth. What is a core competency? Core competency is the specialization that only you have and your competitor doesn't have. With the strategy, you can develop something like that. If you have a strategy, you will keep on analyzing the business environment. You will analyze that competitor is not providing this thing. You will try to find out where the competitor is lacking, and that is where you need to find out that let's develop the specialization in the thing that the competitor is lacking. Let's do it. Right? And the strategy is going to help you in that, because you have a strategy. That is why your mind is working like that. If you do not have a strategy, then it's like you are not looking at the competitor even. You are like just sitting back, relax, whatever happens, happens. Clear? Superior organizational performance. Obviously, the organizational performance will improve if you have the right strategies in the place. The importance of strategic management lies in delivering the superior organizational performance. It implies the performance superior to that of competitors, or more generally above the average performance. Clear? You will be able to find out what your competitors are doing, and accordingly you will be able to take the certain actions. But at the same time, if we are talking about the importance, right, there are certain limitations also which are attached to the strategic management. What are the limitations? Sir, it is quite time consuming. Right? It is a time consuming process. First you will do the analysis, then you will prepare the strategies, then you will implement the strategies, right? And there are a lot of things. Then you will communicate the strategies to each and every employee. That is why it will act as a unified thread, right? So it is going to be a time consuming process. If you are involved in the strategy making only, right? If the top management is involved in making and implementing the strategies only, then when are they going to do the other work? That is obviously going to suffer. Cost, obviously it is going to involve a lot of cost, because you will have to hire the specialist people for making the strategies for your organization. You will have to hire some people for external and internal environment analysis, appointment of expert strategic planners, analysis of external and internal environments, formulation of strategies, training of personnel, it has to be personnel, etc. All these involve substantial cost. It is basically a complete system that you will have to develop, and obviously developing a system will involve certain cost. Uncertainty. He says the business environment is highly complex that we have been talking about. Now, you in such kind of a changing environment, you do not know that whether whatever the strategy you are going to prepare, it is going to work or not. You are spending time also, you are spending the cost also, and even after all this thing, you do not know that whether the strategy is going to work or not, right? So business environment is highly complex and uncertain. The entity's estimate about its future may be absolutely wrong and may affect the entity when it deals with the suppliers, customers, government, etc., in spite of having the best strategic management framework in place. You have hired the best of industry experts for this purpose, but ultimately what happened, sir? This business environment you cannot predict. It is a futuristic environment. It is a dynamic environment. You have prepared a product according to the current customer needs. After 10 days, the customer says, I do not need that product. The customer requirements have absolutely changed. Now what will you do? Right? You are totally on the ground. You had the best of strategy, but what happened, sir? The business environment has responded in the negative way. Resistance, obviously, whenever there is a new system being implemented in the organization, the employees and all those things will obviously resist. So you have to fight that, right? When you have the various strategies, there will be certain people who will always have the resistance, right? Implementation of the strategic management requires a change in the mindset at all the levels of management and operative personnel. Operative personnel means those who are going to actually implement the strategies. So their mindset needs to be changed, sir. Right? Resistance to change and the lack of proper implementation may render the process ineffective. Competition says in the competitive scenario, all the organizations are trying to move strategically. He says if there are 10 people of your industry, everyone is preparing the strategies. It is not only you are preparing the strategies, everyone is preparing the strategies, and everyone is preparing the strategies sitting in their own office behind the closed doors. You do not know what action they are going to take. They do not know what actions you are going to take. So ultimately, what is that? Even after the making the strategies, you are in an uncertain bubble only. Right? You do not know what actions they will be going, and whatever the actions they take, it might nullify the impact of your strategy. What will you do, sir? It is difficult to clearly estimate the competitive response to a firm's strategies, right? the other person who is doing business, he is also sitting in the market for doing business now, for earning the profit, for there in the competitive edge. The other person is also of the same mindset. So whatever the strategy that you are preparing, you might be thinking that I am going to be the king after this strategy, but the other person is staying ahead of you, right? He is already ready with the response to that particular strategy. So he might be the king. But that is why we are saying that this is a limitation, that we cannot identify what other person is thinking. It is a highly complex and a dynamic environment. It is difficult to judge the strategic planning of the competitors because most of these decisions are taken behind the closed doors by the top management. Obviously, nobody is going to tell you your strategy in the open. Will you tell your strategy, how you are preparing for your examination, to your friends? Definitely not. You are not going to do that, right? And you will not get to know what your friends are doing, because they are also doing behind the doors. You are also doing it behind the doors. On the calls, you may be saying, oh, I have prepared 5 chapters, I have prepared this much, I have prepared this much, or I have not prepared anything, even if you are fully prepared with the subject, right? So all these things are what? All this is a dynamic and a complex environment. So this is all about the strategic management, the features, the importance, and the limitations, right? Now this is the summary of this. This is the summary of whatever we have studied. Strategic management is a crucial managerial process that involves developing a firm's vision and mission, conducting the strategic analysis, setting the objectives, creating, choosing and implementing the strategies, and measuring and evaluating the performance. It is about aligning the goals of the organization with the means to achieve them, taking into account the dynamic external forces and reducing the uncertainty caused by changes in business environment. That how we can find out the way to align the goals and objectives. That means whatever the goals and objectives we have set for the organization, how we can achieve those objectives through the strategy. If you are doing the strategic management, if you are going to manage the strategies in the right way, only then you will be able to align these goals. Strategic management helps the organizations to be proactive in shaping their future rather than being reactive, enabling them to adapt to the changes in the environment and compete successfully. It involves a combination of deliberate and proactive strategies based on the analysis and strategic thinking, as well as reactive response to unforeseen developments. The process of strategic management aims to create a competitive advantage that allows the company to outperform the competitors in all respects of organizational performance. It provides direction to the company, defines realistic objectives and goals in line with the company's vision, and helps in decision making, preparing for the future, and enhancing the organizational longevity. However, strategic management also comes with certain limitations, such as being time consuming, costly, facing uncertainty in the business environment, resistance to change, and competition from other organizations. Despite all these challenges, strategic management is essential for organizations to analyze, make decisions, prepare for future, defend against the mistakes, and achieve superior organizational performance. So this is what? This is a perfect summary of the strategic management, right? This is a perfect summary. You can just pause the video here, read it once, right? Pause the video here, read it once, then read the further part. This is the further part, right? You can pause, go through with the summary. We'll provide the summary at the end because I have to prepare for the further topics also. The summary is yet to be prepared for the further topics because it was not the original plan. I've just planned it right before this lecture that let's prepare some kind of a summary also, right? So that it's easy for you people to remember, relearn. The next day if you want to revise something, it is easier for you people to revise the things. Okay, so we are done with this topic of strategic management. The next topic that we will be taking up is the strategic intent. Very important topic. Vision, mission, goals and objectives. Now this is the major topic now in this, right? Vision is there, mission is there, then goals and objectives are there, how we are going to do that, then values are there, then intent versus values. So the major part of this chapter revolves around this now, right? Then the strategic levels in the organization, that is going to be the last topic. So the next at least 2 topics is going to be on the strategic intent itself. I'll try to frame the summary of this also. Let's see how we can do that, right? So please revise the strategic management and whatever we have done so far. See you guys in the next lecture. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, keep studying, keep sharing. Thank you so much.